So you should be able to see it on your computer. Are you on my page?
Yeah, I see the countdown on the computer.
Okay.
Okay, I just see it. It just popped up on yours.
Okay. Now I'm going to share it.
Yes, I see it. I see the countdown. Yes, I see it. I see the countdown. Okay, I just posted to my page.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my Facebook Live audience on today. Welcome to Empowerment Essentials. We are live. Hello, I see Reverend Rita is on today. Hello, hello, hello. Reverend Rita, thank you for sharing the broadcast and for tagging some of our friends. We're so glad to be live. We've been away for a minute. But hey, we are live today, and we're just going to wait for a few more people to come on to this broadcast because we have a really, really exciting show on today that we're going to be sharing with you. So I want to just say hello today to our Facebook family. We've been away for a little bit, but we're live today, and we have an exciting topic. I am so very hyped up about today's program. Listen, I have been waiting for like a month for this broadcast to come on and to be able to share this information to our audience. So why don't you make sure that you click, tag, and share this broadcast today, because this information that we're going to share today is going to be really life-changing for somebody. And I want to get the word out about this topic today. So hello, thank you all for coming in. Come on and shout yourself out where you're watching from. We're expecting a lively discussion on today. And so we're going to be getting started in just a few minutes as you all come into the room. I'm just going to give you a moment to just, I'm going to remove that one to just share this broadcast and say a prayer for us as we get ready to move forward today. Well, I cannot believe that we're already in the month of November and just 2 more months left in this year. All right, I see my friend, Sister Kiera, is on. Thank you for joining us, Kiera, and being on the broadcast on this afternoon. Empowerment Essentials is growing, and I thank God for giving me this platform to be able to introduce to you some of the most dynamic authors, speakers, coaches, you name it. They are tuning in and they're going to be on this platform. So again, just make sure that you share the broadcast on this afternoon. I'm going to get ready to get into the broadcast. I see we got about 8 people on right now, and I know more are going to come in as we move forward. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Hope. Welcome to the broadcast. I see Helen. Good afternoon, and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you all for joining me and my beautiful guest on today. I'm going to be introducing her to you. Some of you may already know her. And if you do, I want you to share the broadcast because you know that the information that she's going to be sharing today is going to be life-changing for someone. So make sure that you share this broadcast today. Hello, Sister Val. Hello, how are you? I see my friend Valerie joining today. Thank you so much. Again, we want you to click, tag, and share the broadcast because somebody needs to hear the information that's going to be presented here today on this afternoon. Well, I'm going to get right into the broadcast. I don't want to delay. I'm excited about the information that she's going to share today. My guest today is Sandra E. Stansel. She's an accomplished entrepreneur, best-selling author, 2-time best-selling author, and international speaker who has started 6 successful businesses on a skinny budget. A survivor of narcissist abuse, Miss Stansel is writing her latest book on the subject and coaches others seeking awareness and release from this type of bondage. Additionally, Ms. Stansel has served on boards of directors and advisors 4 times in her career span, served as a leader in the business and community organizations, as well as started 2 professional associations. That was a little bit of a mouthful, but after today, our guest will need no introduction. Sandra, I want to welcome you to Empowerment Essentials, and I want to say thank you so much for joining me on the platform today to talk about your compelling testimony, freed from 24 years in a narcissistic relationship. That is just phenomenal. Why don't you just greet and say hello to our audience, Sandra, real quick before we get into this beautiful topic?
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Lacey, for having me here on, on your platform. It's just wonderful to be here. I've been excited. I've been nervous. but mostly excited. I don't know why I'm nervous. I guess, it's all that getting started and getting prepared.
Yes.
But I really just want to help those who have been experiencing this kind of bondage or know someone who is experiencing this kind of bondage to release this bondage of narcissistic abuse. And so I'm delighted to be here. I'm so glad. Thank you so much, everyone from both of our tribes for joining us today.
Yes, we are excited. And again, we do thank everyone for joining today. And we're just going to get right into this topic. So, first of all, I think the question on everybody's mind that we want to know is, we all know a little bit about a narcissist, but what can you explain to the audience what a narcissist is? What exactly is a narcissist?
Yes, I certainly can. So, a narcissist is a person who has a grandiose mindset about themselves. They tend to think that they are the only way. They a person who, the whole world is centered around them, and it's like beyond selfishness is what they are. They need to have a masterpiece, and a masterpiece is like a trophy. It's like a person who they are proud of to have shaped and molded into what they need to be for themselves. They are beyond selfishness. I think I said beyond selfishness, and they tend to just um, attract other people or look for other people who have a weakness or have a strength, but somewhere in their life, they may be very strong, successful people, but they're somewhere along in their life, they are broken, and they hone in right in on that area. They attract those type of people. And the reason that they do that is because they have a need to build themselves up.
Wow.
And, yes, they have a need to build themselves up. And so the way that they do that is they have to attract someone who is already there, already on top, and try to bring them down in order for them for the narcissist themselves to bring themselves up. So they basically turn that person into the pedestal and put them on, stand on top of them.
Wow. So a narcissistic personality will literally look for someone that has even reached a certain peak in their life. And then their assignment is literally to try to bring that person down so that they can stand on top of that person.
Exactly. And also, there's some that are born into this, and so they have no idea. They're born into, a family, a parent that's, a mother or a father that's a narcissist. So they're always trying to build them up. And the narcissistic parent will use them, to make themselves look good. Again, a trophy, like a trophy child. Yes.
Wow, that is so compelling. How did you discover that you were in a relationship with a narcissist?
Oh, wow. So the problem is that I knew something was wrong. There was a struggle. There was in actually, I want to pause, and I just want to say that it was a 24-year relationship, but of those 24 years, I was married to the narcissist for 18 years. And so, yeah. And so I knew in that marriage that something was wrong, because we were always struggling. There was never any money. There was never enough money. We did not have. We didn't go on vacations. We did not. We had. I was hungry. We were hungry. Had no food. Didn't have enough. And I spent a lot of time working constantly. I had three jobs, actually. Well, I call them three jobs, but they were three businesses, and I even took on an additional job, trying to keep the basics going. And so I realized that something is wrong. And I eventually I asked God, what is this?
Yes.
And I heard a friend of mine told me that this was a person, she told me that she herself was self-absorbed. And I had never heard of the word self-absorbed. So I looked it up. I looked up self-absorbed, and I kept seeing this word narcissism, but I stayed focused and I stayed on track with that. And when I saw the word narcissism, eventually I stopped and I decided, let me look up this word narcissism. And oh my goodness, it was the answer that I needed. There was
Yes.
a self-assessment test. I took that test and it proved that I was actually dealing with a narcissist.
Wow. Again, can you explain some of the traits that you've seen that really was a red flag to you that this is the personality that I'm dealing with?
Yeah, so I actually, well, some of the traits that they talked about was being um always focused on themselves. Everything that they did was for themselves. And what I experienced was tearing me down. First,
Mm.
building me up to make me feel, and they build you up to make you feel like you are um, the best thing that could ever come into their life. They tell you that they love you too soon. And sometimes they tell you I love you and it's inappropriate. It could be an acquaintance and it could be an associate. It can be someone on the job and they will use the words I love you. And they use those
Wow.
words just to break to to break you down to get right into your person, your persona. And so yeah, that's yes.
Wow. Can you talk a little bit more about what you did after you found out that you were married to a narcissist? What was the next steps after that?
Yeah, so what I did was I started through some research. What I did was I told you about this friend, and so I what I ended up doing was going online and doing a search and finding out what can I find out about this, self-absorbed or narcissism. And so I in my search, when I discovered that, you know, I was just so frustrated. But
Yes.
I did research and I looked at the word narcissism and I have something I want to share with you. I started to save all of these different comments and all of these different articles and all of these posts. It
Yes.
came up and I turned it into a booklet. You know, I created one of those binding cones and I actually have it right here. I'm going to show it to you. Um,
Yes.
it's a booklet that I created. This is the booklet and it's not really a book, but it's 169 pages of just articles and information about narcissism. And I was, I just read it. So every time I went somewhere where I was still either at the hairdresser or going to vote or even in line at the grocery store, I pulled this out. Now it was not in a booklet. It was several different pages
Yes.
that was printed. And I started to read them. They were in it. It would tell me different things of what I could do. Mostly, it was about recognizing this person and how they are, and how they do things to try to destroy you in order to make them feel good.
Wow. I'm sure that with a book that a manual that big, I mean that part of that had to be revealed to you by God because He
Amen.
has something for you to do with that information to help other people get free. Can you discuss some other things that a victim of narcissistic abuse might experience? What things might they experience to be like a red flag to them?
So, in addition to that, and actually, if you don't mind, I want to also mention that because you mentioned God, and I want to mention that when um I actually, excuse me, Tonta, I actually prayed and asked God to tell me what this was, and
Mm,
so I had a relative to come to me, and she was actually studying. It was a niece actually, and she was studying in her church, and she heard this word about narcissism, and I asked God to tell me where in the Bible is it because it had to be in there, and it's the Jezebel spirit, and I had no idea. I used to hear about it, but I had no idea that's what it was, and so in studying and learning about the Jezebel spirit, I really became really in tune with what is this again? What what can I do about it? And so God started to reveal more and more about this personality. It's really a personality disorder. Some of the
Yes.
traits, like I said, they say I love you too quick. They make you the center of their attention. They
Wow.
give you all this love and all this attention. And if you're in a relationship with a person, they tend to build you up so high. You think that this is the absolute best. I'll speak because I'm a woman. I'll speak about the man.
Yeah.
This is the best relationship that I could ever have, that anybody ever had, and you feel sorry for all the other women on earth who don't have this relationship, don't have this great feeling of love because they gave and they give so much to you. And um so they do that, to hook you, and then the next thing they do, they start to neglect you. They start to
Wow.
alienate you from your family members. They start to it cause you to lose connection with your family. That's their goal, because they want you all to themselves. They start to criticize you, or criticize things about you. A slightest little inkling, a little strand of hair, in one place, and they'll say, there's something wrong with your hair. Go comb your hair or go fix your hair. Some of them experience is some of them is of the abuse is physical. I actually did
Wow.
not experience physical abuse, but a
Yes.
lot of people who are survivors of narcissism experience physical abuse. Also, financial abuse, always asking for money, never returning it, never paying it back, borrowing things. They don't have to borrow money. They can borrow something simple like a tape dispenser. What they're attempting to do is trying to possess you or possess something of you. I remember the narcissist borrowed a magazine, and I was so um, gung ho. Really, I was on getting that magazine back. Never got it back actually to this day, but they take something from you, and they're looking for something that you are requesting or you need or you want, and then they deny you what it is that you want or what you need.
Wow. You know what I found interesting, especially in the churches, a lot of times we talk about the Jezebel spirit.
Yeah.
So everybody recognizes that spirit, how controlling it is, and so many attributes. And to have that narcissistic spirit connected with a Jezebel spirit really, really brings to light how it controls,
Yes.
how it manipulates you, and literally, just to really break you down.
Yes. That's
Oh,
true.
oh
That's
my
true.
God. Audience, listen, we want to give you the opportunity to be able to ask questions. If you, my guest today, Sandra Stansell, she's an expert on narcissism. She has a book that's soon to be released on this subject. 24 years in a relationship, and she's seen it all up close and personal. Sandra, can you explain if there's help or hope of recovery for the narcissist? Can they be helped?
Yes, there is help if they decide that that's what they want. In
Wow.
most cases, they do not, because what the experts have said is that they what they do is, in order to be able to get help, they have to first admit that they have a problem. They have to admit that they are a narcissist. And when they do that, saying that they are a narcissist or there's something is wrong with them is like committing suicide. And so oftentimes they will not. They will carry it to their grave. But there are people there are narcissists who have admitted that they have a problem, and they have sought out help. There are psychiatrists and psychologists that have, supported them. And many times what they have done, and what I have studied and learned as well, and it happened with me as well, is that it's been stated, and it's true, that they often fool the professionals.
Wow.
So they will fool a psychiatrist and also a psychologist, or anyone in a professional mental health, they often do fool them as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent raising sons,
Hmm.
are there certain traits and characteristics that we can look for in our sons that we might be able to help shape them away from that type of personality when we see certain type of behaviors that we might find alarming?
Yes. Um, Selfishness, not wanting to share, um, focus on everything about themselves, or lying a lot, misleading. Um, Another is a form of destruction. So they tend to harm people, harm
Mm,
things, tear things down,
wow.
kill pets, small pets. It starts off with killing a fish, and then it goes up to, um, or insects. They are often always mad. As a parent, you can see that they're mad on the inside, but on the outside, they show a different disposition. Yes.
Yes. Wow, that is really, really important to know. Have a comment here where someone said they're looking forward to getting your book. This is very important information for the faith based community. As a person that is a woman of faith, have you seen this type
Mm.
of personality in pastors?
Oh my gosh. Yes. They're in high places. They're everywhere, Dr. Lacey. They
Wow.
are in pastors, they're in ministers, they're in leaders of organizations, they're on the job, they are in volunteer organizations, even community organizations. They're everywhere. They're in high places, and some of them are not necessarily in high places because they need to feel high. But usually, a lot of times, they're successful themselves. They
Wow.
are business owners. Yes. They have a lot of high positions. They are instructors or leaders. Often they have high degrees. They have been in high professional positions as lawyers, doctors, CPAs, accountants, like I said, business owners, entrepreneurs. Yes. Politicians.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Pastors.
I have a question here from the audience. From Helen, are people born into narcissism or does a life experience turn them into a narcissist?
The answer to that question, thank you, Helen, is both. People can be born into narcissism as well as they can acquire it. So when they're born, and they're not born as a narcissist, they are, but when they are raised by narcissists, they can come out and turn out to either be a narcissist themselves, or they end up being a person who is an empath, a person who is an enabler, a person who is empathetic and sensitive to a narcissist. That's what I was. I was actually raised by a narcissist as well.
Wow.
And so they, but it's most of them are, it's acquired. Many of them are raised um, by having um, too much. The word is called spoiled.
Spoiled.
So we
Wow.
used to always hear people say, "You're spoiling this child," and the things that they've always gotten all in life. That's all they known from the time they're a child, and they go right into their teenage years and the adult years, expecting the rest of the world to, um, give them the attention and give them all of what they want, buy them things, and spend their money on them. They're expecting those things for them as well.
Wow. So the woman that comes along in their life later and they've been overindulged and they've been spoiled and they've been made to believe that the world revolves around them because many narcissists believe that the world revolves around
Yes,
them,
they
right?
do.
They
They do.
do
That's
that.
exactly how a child thinks, and that's exactly how they think. And because they cannot get a person to evolve them around them, what they tend to do is they attract somebody who is in a high place themselves, an attractive woman, and also a woman who is successful or has accomplished a lot of things, who is in a high place herself, and their goal is to bring them down so that they can feel that as well. They have to elevate themselves in order to feel some type of value.
Wow, that is something. They have to elevate themselves above you. So there's many people that are in these relationships because he said, I
Mm.
love you. He said all the right things so fast to draw you in, and then he wants to suppress you and bring you down.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
And I want to add something else.
Please.
This is something about what attracts them. They're attracted to, in particular, a woman. They're attracted to your beauty. They're attracted to your money. They're attracted to all the accomplishments, and the fact that you are a caring person. They sit back and they observe you. They discover and realize that you are highly confident, that you are a happy person. You have a happy personality. You have great connections. They um they love that you are a business owner, or you're in, like I said, you are a board member, or you are a helper. They love that you are well prepared, you have property, you have land, you have degrees, because they want to be able to bring this down. But they find somewhere inside that they find an inkling of low self-esteem, something about you that you need. Like for me, I was neglected, so I needed love. And so that's one, and most of the times that's who they attract, people who needed love. And so that's why the first thing they mention, or they say to you, is I love you. They just say it too quickly.
Wow, you know what? This is just so compelling to me what you're saying, because this narcissist, hear this, people, and I know that this is going to be caught on the replay. Those of you that are listening to this on the replay or listening to this live, you need to share this, because just because if you're successful, if you make money, if you have a platform, if you have your own business, if you're successful, you could attract a
Yeah.
narcissist. You are the person that they're looking for, not necessarily the person that's wallowing in low self-esteem or don't have
Mhm.
anything going on. And we're hearing these stories more and more. Women that are television reporters, have
Yes.
their own businesses. They take in these individuals and find themselves, really sometimes they end up dead,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yes.
Unfortunately. Wow. What advice would you give to the person that is struggling or that has been a victim of this type of abuse? Because it is a form of abuse. Let's be clear.
It is. It is a
Yes.
form of abuse. The first thing, oh gosh, that's a very good question. And the first thing that I would want to tell them is that they can release this. They can get over this person. They do not have to have this person in their life. And so I would want to tell them, as someone in this relationship, is first make a decision. Make a decision to get back to who you were. Make a decision to get back to who you dreamed that you were supposed to be or could have been. Because there's some people that are married to narcissists or have a relationship with them straight out of high school. They didn't know anything better. Another thing is to continue for them after you made a decision that you really want to get back to who you are, or to what you're supposed to be. Then next thing is decide if you really want to continue with this marriage or with this relationship. Stay quiet. If you're going to stay quiet, if you're going to stay with it, and you're going to continue with it, realize you're going to continue with this abuse. You're going to continue with this treatment. You're going to endure insults, anxiety, lots of reprimands, all kinds of demeanors. You're going to, I mean, demeaning you. you're going to have it end up, you can develop ulcers and tumors, and you become really unstable. You'll become forgetful. And so, if you decide you want to stay in this relationship, realize that these are the things that you're going to experience and you're going to endure. So, I would say take all the time that you need necessary.
Yes.
If you make the decision not to, it sometimes it can take it take takes a while. But important thing is that for you to know is that you can smile again. You can be happy again.
Wow, that is so important. You can be happy again. You can rebuild your life after a narcissistic, abusive relationship.
Yes,
Sandra, I believe that some of the greatest accomplishments that you have made in your life have been now after that relationship. It seems as if it shaped you for the purpose that God has called you to walk in. Talk a little bit about, well, let me not overlook what my audience has to say here,
okay.
because someone had brought up a really, really important point about that. She said her comment was most male children who have the narcissistic trait will be your biggest challenge. And we as mothers enable them.
That's true. It's unfortunate that and women tend to do that. Yes. I actually know Coach Twyla. She is actually she specialized in the health advocate, health mental health advocate area, and she often has experience in counsel women as well on this. And yes, they do. The women unfortunately enable their sons, and they protect them. And what
Mm,
they really need their fathers in their lives. They need a strong man in their life to show them how to be a man. A woman
yes.
really does not know how to raise turn a boy into a man. Only a man can do that. And so, yes, the mothers enable them, and oftentimes, unfortunately, they tend to turn them into, unfortunately, their man. They do
Wow.
everything with their sons except for the intimate part with their sons.
What about this trait in women? I have a comment here that says that's my
Mhm.
adoptive mother. Can women be narcissists as well?
Yes. Yes, women can be narcissists as well. That's a very good question. I certainly, my mother was a narcissist, and they have very similar traits as men. They're always needed. They cry a lot to get what they want. Many of them can
Mm,
cry on a dime. They even cry no tears. They are very belittling. They talk down to their victims. Yes, they are insensitive to their to I call them their victims. They often are rude and make it look like you are the villain, and the truth is that they're the villain.
wow.
Um, that you basically have no rights. They accuse you of things, and if they don't have the truth about you, they will make up a lie about you in order to make you look worse, especially to other people. They do not
Wow.
apologize, and I have learned that women tend to use sex as a way to hone in a man on women who are narcissists.
Wow. That is some compelling information. They will even use sex to hone in a man just to
Yes,
overtake that again, that Jezebelic type of spirit.
exactly.
That Jezebelic type of spirit. So, talk to us today about how victims of narcissistic abuse can find help. How can someone that's been in this type of relationship find help?
So there is a domestic violence, and we just came off of Domestic Violence Awareness Month last month. And yes, they can they can go to, it is a National Domestic Violence Awareness hotline. And I
Okay.
actually like to give the number, and I can put it also, I can put it in the chat. It is 800 for you all if you want to get an ink pen. 800 799 SAFE. That's
Wow.
800-799-SAFE. And then, and SAFE is 7233. I'm going to say it again. And then I'm also going to give you the TTY for those who are um, have hard hearing so that they can use that. So it is 800-799-SAFE, which is 7233. And
Yes.
TTY is 800-787-3224. Again, 800, this is for TTY, 800-787-3224. And there is a 24-hour hotline. They're there and available to help you and to assist you as well. I certainly meet with clients as well, and those I offer a free session on recovering, just getting started with recovering the process of releasing this narcissistic person in your life.
Wow, that is such good information. I hope my audience was able to capture that information. If someone could type the phone numbers in the comments, just so that if someone needs help and more information regarding the subject of narcissistic abuse, there is help out there for you. There is help for those of you that have suffered in this type of relationship. Yes, thank you
Yeah,
so much. We see where it is, and I'm putting it up on the screen for
right.
those that are in this type of suffering from this type of relationship, or you know someone that you may need to share this information with. I'm going to ask you to share this information on today. Sandra, any closing comments before we close this broadcast today that you would like to give to our audience about this compelling subject?
Yes, absolutely. I want to let you know that you can get over this. That you it's important for you to believe and believe in the truth. Know that you can get past this and you will. I want you to go into the mirror and say to yourself, I love you. And say it to yourself with your name. In other words, say, I love you, Sandra. Say to yourself right now, I love you, Sandra. Say it 7 times. Say your name, then say it again with the mirror and 7 times. I'm getting tongue tied because I'm trying to say too many things at one time. So first, I want you to say it to yourself, then go to the mirror, say it 7 times, and then the next time I want you to smile and say, I love you, Sandra, or Sandra, I love you. And certainly you can get in contact with me as well. I will put my information inside of the comment section. After the broadcast, you'll be able to get in contact with me as well. And that number that's on display is actually 800. I was trying to type it in. It's actually 800. Thank you. Very good.
Yes,
800.
yes.
And then the other one, I didn't get a chance to type that in correctly. It is 800-799-7233 SAFE. And there's something else I wanted to share. I shared about the book, but what I did not
Yes.
share was how much study I did that was involved. And now I have a bag here of all of the materials that I study, and I want to share it with your audience
Please.
because they need to know that it was not something simple, just clicking on a couple links or looking inside of YouTube. This is the bag of all of my studies on narcissism. Can you all see that? That's a lot of studying that I did, and I have shared this many times with many others on trying to heal myself and help myself. And when it was nothing like that out there like it is now, there are a lot of people who are on online and a lot of talks about it on social
Yes.
media, and so but if nothing like that was available, and so it's important for me to help those, especially the women, release this.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sandra. I am sure that this information, I can tell from the comments that I have received from those in the audience. And I think Phyllis Pelzer, thank you for joining today, makes a very good point. She says that you can be happy again. you can
Yes.
be happy again. And I
See
think
that?
that is so important. You can be
Yeah,
happy
see that right
again.
there? You can be happy. You choose, make a decision. Choose to be happy because you can be happy again. You can get over this.
Yes, and realize and recognize, we say it all the time, but there is no relationship that's worth your peace. No relationship that's worth your happiness. I often say you are a gift to the body of Christ. Own it.
Yeah,
Those that don't recognize how wonderful you are, the gift that you are
yes.
to everybody, the gift that you are to the world. Sandra, sometimes people laugh at me because I make a big deal out of my birthday, but I'm intentional about making a big deal about me because God wanted me to be here. I'm going to celebrate me if nobody else does. So I think that we have to know that we can be happy and that God wants
Yes.
us to have life and that more abundantly. And anything that takes away from that is not a gift from God.
So it's so true. And I want to say God made us here for a purpose. And our
Yeah.
purpose was not to be placed here on the earth to be misused and abused by a narcissist or anyone for that matter. He made us perfectly. And he gave us high value. He said that we are worthy and we belong to him.
Yes.
And so he has a purpose for us, and our purpose is not to fulfill what the narcissists need. It really is a demonic spirit that attempting to trying to tear you down. And so I would say start the process. Start by first admitting that this is, something that is truth in your life, and then begin the process of releasing that person from your life.
Wow. Release. I think that's the word for the day. I think I can't think that we can end that on a better note than to release. And as Sister Hope here said, there is life after a narcissistic relationship.
Yes, there
Great
is.
lie.
There is.
Thank you so much, Sandra, again for being on the show on this afternoon. It has been very engaging. It has been such a blessing. Before we end, again, I just want to make sure that you all have this number that you can contact if you know someone that's in a narcissistic relationship and they need help. There is help today
Yes,
for the hurting.
there
Well,
is.
until next time, to my audience, thank you all. Thank you, Reverend Rita, for always being on the live. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Sister Kira, and for everybody. Deloria, I see you out there. For everyone that commented today, make sure that you share this broadcast because somebody needs to catch the replay of this and it's going to change their life. So again, until next time, look for us here, Empowerment Essentials. We're on once a month right now, but I plan to increase that and come to you guys more often with compelling and great topics like this. But we definitely solicit your prayers, amen, for us as we continue. Be watching my page, like Empowerment Essentials, and watch that page because we have some more wonderful guests that we're going to be bringing to this platform. So thank you all again. And thank you again, Sandra. Any parting words?
That's yes. Always want you to know that again, you can release this. You can live again. And I wish you all the best. And just know that this was God's plan for you to be
Yes.
able to release this narcissistic abuse.
Amen.
That you're
Well,
here.
God bless you, audience. Until next time, goodbye and have a wonderful weekend. And thank you so much for tuning in.